Good morning, everybody. I say good morning because I got up really early this morning before my kids so that I could show you guys a couple of ways how to put vegetables into your breakfast. So today we are making sweet potato waffles with a blueberry sauce and breakfast salad. See my last video, I have a new cutting board. It's beautiful. My sister and her husband own Black Forest Custom Carpentry out of Ogden, Utah. They make the most amazing things, so definitely check them out on Facebook and also on blackforestcustomcarpentry.com. So for your sweet potatoes, you're going to want 2 medium ones. However, when I went to the store, I was able to find one smallish one and all the others were this big. So I had to cut my other one down to size, but it is about 2 medium sweet potatoes. I pricked them with a fork all around them and put them in the microwave for about, if you have the right size potatoes, it's going to be about 4 minutes on one side and 2 minutes on the other. My giant potato took about 10 minutes. You do have to prick them with a fork first because if you don't, it'll hold in all this pressure and your potato could explode in your microwave, and you know, that's a fun cleanup. So let them cool off and then cut them in half. And you're just going to use a spoon to scoop this stuff out and put it into either a KitchenAid or food processor or blender. It really doesn't matter which. I'm using my KitchenAid today. So I did fail to mention that when you're microwaving your potato, what you're looking for is that you want it to be really soft, that you can kind of press it and you can feel that it's soft underneath the skin there, and that's when it's ready. So I've taken the flesh out of the skins and put them into my KitchenAid. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's so early. So I'm just going to start this on a slow to medium speed and let it mash up my potato really well for me. And while that's going, I'm going to put 1.5 cups of almond milk or any milk into the microwave for a minute just so that it'll get a little bit warm. So that's all mashed up. It took only about 30 seconds. And my milk took about 1.5 minutes, but it'll vary depending on your microwave. So I'm just going to put these together and let them blend. Okay, once that's all stirred together, we're going to add 3 cups of quick oats. And because your milk was a little bit warm, it's going to make it so that the oats will start to cook a little bit, so they won't be all crunchy in your waffle. Okay, always scraping down the sides of the bowl here and there. And the bottom. Sometimes I forget, but you do need to get the bottom too. So that is all mixed up and it's warm, so it's cooking my oatmeal just a little bit. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of applesauce, or you can do 2 eggs if you'd rather, and a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. It does have to be the real maple syrup, not the corn syrup with flavoring in it. Also 4 teaspoons of vanilla. Or a little bit more. And we'll mix that together really well. so at this point you're gonna want to get your waffle iron out and get it preheated. So in this little cup, I have 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon each of cinnamon and salt. And I'm just gonna take this fork and stir it gently together before I add it to my mix. I may do it over my mix so that I don't spill any more on the floor. I'm actually going to turn this on and pour it in a little at a time just so that it gets mixed in there better and doesn't clump. Then turn the speed up. Alright, these are so ready to go. I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so it's a really thick batter. So don't be worried if you see it and you're like, that's just too thick. That's not a waffle mix. It is. We just have to press it into our waffle iron. When you're doing this, you can measure if you'd like to. It's for a standard waffle maker, it's about 1 cup. But what I do is first you spray. We'll get that out of your way. And I just put a bunch in the middle and spread it out to the sides. It does not have to completely reach the sides. I just sort of level it out like that, smash it down, and just let it cook. And it takes a few minutes, and your waffle maker should have a timer on it. If it doesn't, just go ahead and check it every once in a while. Just want it to be brown and crispy. While we're waiting for that, we'll go ahead and start our salad. So I have 2 Granny Smith apples and 2 Gala apples, and they're lunchbox size. I'm gonna just cut these down, and what I do, I cut around the core like this, kind of like you would cut a mango if you've ever cut a mango. Then I cut off the sides there. So I'm left with just this core that I get rid of. And I'm going to cut these to be about 1/2 inch. But since they are rounded, I kind of try to keep with that, and instead of cutting straight down, I cut at an angle, 2 in, and then change the angle on the other side. So angle in, straight down, angle the other side. And I'll do that with all 4 and put them in a bowl with a little bit of water. By the time I finished chopping all of my apples, my first waffle was done. So I'm going to go ahead and carefully pull that out and get some more on here. Oh, spray first. That up. And I'm going to take my apples and put them into this bowl. It's okay that they come over the top a little bit. Or, you know, a lot. Oh my goodness. And there. I'm going to put just like a little bit of water in here and put it in the microwave for about 3 minutes. It's going to soften them up so that they'll be about the same texture as our avocados that we're going to chop here in a second. While that's microwaving, we're going to get started on our blueberry sauce. So I've got 2 cups of blueberries in a small saucepan. You can use fresh or frozen. I used frozen. I'm going to get that onto a medium heat and put in 2/3 cup of water. And here I've got 2 teaspoons of flour. I'm using whole wheat, and 3 tablespoons of turbinado sugar, or sugar in the raw. You don't have to use that. You can use just a regular granulated sugar if you'd like. You could even use maple syrup or agave nectar, just something to make it a little sweeter. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now we're going to stir this up. I believe I said a medium heat before. It's high heat. And you're going to bring it to a boil, and then you're going to simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes. At that point, it should start to thicken up for you, and then we will start to mash the blueberries into the sauce. I've pulled my apples out of the microwave, and I'm going to let them cool off while I work on the rest of the salad. I have 2 smallish avocados here. Just going to cut around and pop it open like that. Oh, well, that pit just wanted to come right out. And then I'm going to slice in here. This is safer if you do it on the board. You might cut yourself doing it this way. And cut them in both directions and make them about the same size as your apples. We are witnessing an anomaly. I tried to twist it off, and I know I cut all the way to the pit, and this is what happened. So I'm going to do some problem solving here. Perhaps if I take a spoon. Oh my goodness. Well, that's not going to look very pretty, is it? Well, my kids don't care. They love avocado. Oh my goodness. All right, I think I got that one kind of decent. I'm sorry, I don't know what was going on with that. After you score these, though, you're supposed to just be able to stick your spoon in here and pull that all out. And I have a bowl here that I'm going to be making my salad in. And I'll just put it in there and add my apples. I got all of my avocado into the bowl, and then I drained out the rest of the water that was in with the apples and added the apples to the bowl. I put them in the fridge so that the apples could continue to cool off, and while that was happening, my blueberries came to a boil. So I came back and started stirring those. I've turned the heat down to low, and I'm going to let them simmer for that 5 to 7 minutes. While that simmers, I'm going to keep going with the rest of my salad. I have a small frying pan here. I'm going to preheat that to high. And then over here, I have a small bowl. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of honey. I have orange blossom honey. I think it's really yummy. It always takes a long time to come out, so what I do is I make 2 little piles, and I just eyeball the second tablespoon there. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I actually use imitation because vanilla extract is really expensive right now. and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh boy. Don't judge me. We all cut corners. Nobody likes to do dishes. I could have grabbed another measuring spoon. I chose not to. Anyway, stir all of that together really well. And again, I'm using my measuring spoon because I don't like to do dishes. So that is all mixed together, and I'm sure my pan is done preheating. I actually switched the spots on the stove because I wanted it closer to me. But I have a half a cup of slivered almonds. You can just use regular almonds and chop them up, but it was easier for me just to do this. We're going to stick this on here, and we're going to keep them moving so that they get browned and toasted on every side, but they don't burn. Don't let them sit in one place too long. When those almonds were done, I got them immediately out of the pan and onto a small dish. You can see they're nice and toasty. And my sauce has been going long enough, so now I'm going to use my spoon and press these blueberries into the side and smash them so that they become really saucy rather than big pieces of blueberry. It may seem like this is a lot of things going on all at once, but other than keeping the almonds moving, it doesn't take a whole lot of attention, like directly to every little thing. The waffles cook pretty slowly, so does the sauce. You have to sit and wait for your apples to cool. So this is really a nice breakfast to do together, because you can switch back and forth. That's ready. I'm going to turn off my heat and grab my apples and avocado out of the fridge. This salad comes together really easily. You've got your apple and your avocado. Put in your almonds, a 1/4 cup of golden raisins. Make sure they're not all sticking together. And then your honey mixture that you did before. Pour that on there. And then just gently stir it all together. And it's ready to go. And there we have it. Sweet potato waffles with blueberry syrup and a breakfast salad. Sounds and looks complicated. It is not. It is so good, and your kids will love having vegetables for breakfast.